Hello everybody, Accureye here, and welcome back to another Accureye Talks video. And in today's Accureye Talks video, we will be talking about combos and combo practice. In general, just the general practice of combos and Dead or Alive 6, and, kind of talking about what counts as good form, and, of course, to a degree, what makes the combo, because obviously maybe you may just come into it if you're just a casual player as, well, combos are just something that I can create infinitely. It's something where I create great damage with little effort, and to some degree maybe that's true, and of course to a degree it is kind of true, but to another degree, of course, when you look at combos in general, combos are basically just all about timing. It's all about pulling off the right moves in the right situation. As you can see here, I like starting with combo practices or command training, because command training at least allows you to understand or get to know your character's movesets. And by the factor of knowing your character's movesets, it does mean that you will have a good chance of potentially being able to pull off massive style points, combos, exciting things. And if you're a competitive player, of course, this is something that you want to rile up the crowd for. Is the excitement, is of course the factor of people who are like, oh my gosh, that move just happened, they just did what? And you want to get people talking, and of course that's something that in general can help you with the overall play style, with the overall playing of the game. And this is something that will take a lot of time to practice. Remember, the combo training, the command training, it takes a lot of time to practice. And if you're less than just a casual player, and let's face it, 9 out of 10 times you're probably just going to be a casual player who's going to play online and hope to get the highest rank just so that you can bask in some of that excitement that all the other pros that you've seen probably have. And, obviously that's why most of us pro players don't play online very often, is because, let's face it, 9 out of 10 times we're going to end up running into some player who's going to kind of go against one of us, and of course because of the factor that they have the advantage of lag or something like that, then it's basically going to make it to where we can't punish them very well. And that's why most of us pro players, believe it or not, will play offline. Is because, at the end of the day, we don't want to have to deal with players who are, all about the quote unquote, just like fishing for buttons or fishing. And this is why command practice or combo practice is of course important. It's important to learn your commands and learn the combos. This way you can in general make it to where you are proficient in your character. You don't want to have to you don't want to have to play a character that you don't know and then kind of just go flippity floppity floopity floppity flu and push all the buttons hoping that you'll learn something or you'll pick up on something that's like infinite. I mean, obviously you don't want to do that. You want to make it to where you are proficient in your character and the frames, the timing, and all the other stuff leading into that command, because you don't want to have to go into like flippity floppity flu and kind of go like, oh hey look, I got lucky, I'm gonna do it again, flippity floppity flu, oh hey look, I got lucky. Because let's face it, 9 out of 10 times, most players who are casuals get salty after one player just massively fishes them in for a complete defeat. And let's face it, pro players will do that to you if they have good connection. If they have good connection to you, pro players or even players like me who are pretty much all about the fighting game community, we spend hours learning each character, learning their frames, learning the connections and all that other jazz. We will know how to basically bait you into thinking that you have the advantage going in as a fisher, and that's exactly what most of us players will do going forward, is we bait you into learning, into thinking that you have us. But really, in general, of course, the fact is we have you. The only reason you may have gotten lucky was because of your connection to one reason or another. So, so it's one of the main reasons and main points why, of course, you see players who, you don't see many pro players who are playing online unless it's free lobby, because obviously free lobby, we have advantage of kind of like going, oh, you're not a great connection. Okay, we're going to boot you out. We're going to kick you out because you have a bad connection. Oh, we're going to train. We want to train. Okay, you have good connection? Great. We can train with you, So, I mean, let's face it. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly just that, And in general, it's why most of us just play on lobbies and whatnot, because let's face it, at the end of the day, we can, we can, of course, control what's going on. We can see exactly every move you are doing before you may even see it. So, so, I mean, that's exactly it, at the end of the day. And that's exactly why most of us players will spend so much time online and so much time just looking for a good lobby, a good connection, because, let's face it, if it's a pro player, they're going to basically end up wanting the best. They want to end up with, players that can also, actually dish out a good fight. And if it's a player who doesn't dish out a good fight, then, what's the point, At least at the end of the day. So, yeah. So, with that being said, it is what it is. So, and, I mean, that's just it. You want to have good form. You want to have good practice. You want to have good things, good ways of being able to, in general, be as clean as you can. Obviously, as you can see, here, it's not exactly my cleanest work, but you can see here that I'm really taking the time to learn and try to really get the idea of what's going on. And obviously, I do get the idea, and you'll see here. But this is exactly what most of us pro players will do. We will play offline, just so that we can, get certain things that, get certain points that maybe you don't understand. And, it's normal to have a player who pretty much is gonna try to practice, because, obviously practicing offline is way better than trying to practice online and train online. Obviously, when you train online, you may have more of a understanding of what players are going to do, but 9 out of 10 times, you may not understand exactly what you're doing. And you may just get, like I said before, flippity-floppity-flooping, pushing all the buttons, hoping that you'll get lucky, And that's exactly what many players do, is they flippity-floppy-flew and push all the buttons just to hope that they have an advantage and go, oh, hey, look, I just did this. Now I'm going to do it again. Flippity-floppity-flew, I'm going to do it again. Yay, I win. I'm great. I'm awesome, And that's why, in one of my future talks videos, I will be talking about how rank doesn't matter anymore. And the truth is, rank doesn't really matter anymore, everybody. Like, rank is pretty much just that. It's just rank. It doesn't matter. It's like something that doesn't really matter anymore. Obviously, people who have high rank are looked at as being awesome. They're looked at as being like, oh my gosh, this person did this? Holy crap, they're so good. But, that's just from a viewer perspective. From a perspective of a player who's like, oh, okay, well, who's also a competitor, it's like, okay, well, they may have this rank, but are they really that rank, or are they something lower? Because, again, many players kind of get away with going flippity-floppity-flew, and because they have a bad connection, they have extra frames and extra periods of time. So it's like the flippity-floppity-flew motion just is like, oh, okay, I got lucky. I win. I'm the greatest, And obviously, from a viewer perspective, every viewer wants the high-ranking players. Wants the players who have, like, in the case of, like, Battle Royales, they want the players who have, like, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000 points under their under their belt. They want players who have like 30, 40 wins under their belt. They want the players who are like, oh, okay, that player must be good because they have over 300 wins. They have over 1 million damage. They have like X amount of kills in like the case of like Apex Legends. And I get the lure of players who are like that. I get that players who are like that are kind of like, oh my gosh, they're so good. I have to team up with them. And if I don't team up with them, then I'm basically terrible. Then I must be basically terrible, And I mean, that's just it. Most players will believe that because, it's like that's how they were built to believe. That's what they were thought of to have believing that these players were great. But, some of these players, obviously, because of their rank, they just got lucky. Now, there are times where you meet someone like, for instance, the Ray Origin. The Ray Origin, who is a Twitch streamer, and he only massively plays Apex Legends. And you know what? The guy has like 4,000 wins. But again, this is a guy who probably plays it 24 hours a day, 24/7. This guy probably just lives, eats, and breathes Apex Legends. And that's what happens when you get into fighting games. Sometimes you get players who are really good, and they live, eat, and breathe Apex Legends, or something like Dead or Alive 6, And how do they do that? Well, they watch timing. They watch the timing. They see the command inputs, and of course they show what is going on each time they hit like these certain commands. Now, obviously, I will do a command input video so I can show you a clean version of me doing all these commands and maybe of course some of the combo challenges. But most of that is just so that you can see an idea of what's going on when I'm currently playing games like this, when I am actually practicing offline. And, this is the best way to learn, is to learn offline. Don't just, try to hope that if you do this online, you're going to get lucky, or you're going to, you're going to find your stride. Obviously, this works with any character, and, you're not going to find your stride just by doing it online. Most players who are online only, they're probably just kind of, like I said, flippity floppity flew, mashing buttons, pushing any button they can, hoping that they get lucky. And sometimes they will get lucky because of the fact that, and this is because of the fact that they have someone who, who of course just, allows them to, who of course gives them extra frames. And, what I'm showing here is what I've seen most players do. It's most players will kind of go like, okay, we're going to just keep hitting one button because we're going to get lucky. And that's exactly what I'm showing here, is that, this is exactly how fishing works. Fishing kind of works like this. I'm showing you a sample of fishing. And this is exactly how fishing works. Is you'll see players who are doing this, they're just kind of like going like do. I'm going to hope to get lucky. I'm not going to actually, I'm not going to actually try to think about this. I'm just going to kind of go boop, boop, boop. I'm pushing buttons. I'm hoping to get lucky. I'm hoping someone will hit. I'll hit somebody, or I'll get something out of this, This is exactly how button mashing works, or how fishers work. This is a perfect example, actually, of fishing. And this is why I'm totally against fishing entirely. I don't like people who fish, because it's like, people who fish get me frustrated, and it gets a lot of FGC players frustrated, is the people who fish. And then you, of course, are seeing a perfect example of someone who's just basically like mashing buttons, hoping that they'll get lucky, hoping that they'll be able to do something. And that's exactly how fishing works. Like, for me, you may not realize it, but that's exactly how fishing works, is fishing works with, trying to mash buttons and go like do, hope that I get lucky, There's no thought into the process. It's just like, I'm going to just bash you into a wall, and I'm going to hope to get lucky because I'm going to just keep doing the same thing. It's like, and that's exactly it. It's like, just seeing a perfect example of me trying to show you fish in some way or another. And of course, it's true. Many players will, of course, just hope to fish and, you know, keep mashing buttons. Like, what I'm showing you is perfect example of you know, people who are just trying to fish and not, you know, control or, you know, change up the stance. Now, obviously, I do also show you some, I think I may also show you some actual combos, but, you know, but as you can see here, you know, this is a perfect example of me just showing you what happens when you got players who are fishing. Is they just fish, they just keep pushing buttons, they just keep mashing away, going do 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 do, which is really bad form. Which honestly, of course, is really bad form, and that is just basically bad form. Like, for instance, as you can see here, now you're seeing a little bit of like what I'm doing when I'm playing the game. Is I'm basically, you know, I'm basically trying to make sure that I have the advantage when it comes down to doing things. And as you can see, sometimes I get lucky. But, you know, 9 out of 10 times, I'm thinking about what I'm doing next. I'm thinking about how can I keep this guy off guard. But, you know, that's pretty much what I'm talking about when it comes to doing good form or whatever. And with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Hopefully this has helped you understand and learn a little bit more about being a, you know, being a good form player when it comes to, if you really are thinking about joining tournaments, being a practice, or being in good, you know, in good form. And you'll see a little bit of here where I'm learning, where I'm trying to learn like the characters from like some of the combos here. You'll see here how I'm practicing some of the good form. Trying to get good form with these characters, and you know, that's why the combo challenges are there. Before I close out, that's why the combo challenges are there. That's why command training is there. Many players will look it over because it's like, why should I bother learning about the commands, learning these combos? But I mean, in truth, it will really help you in the long run, because, you know, it teaches you, it trains you, and it teaches you to have good form, to learn these certain moves, these certain aspects that may come to you as a surprise if you're just beep beep boppy booping mashing buttons. But like I said, with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Lately, I know I'm trying only 3 videos a week, and they're longer videos, but just so I can produce the best quality and the best content for you on YouTube. I'm still live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for about 4 to 5 hours, but I'm also live lately on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and potentially Sunday. Sunday will always be a bonus stream, but Monday and Tuesday will always be around 2 to 3 hours long. And with that being said, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video, and yeah, thank you for stopping by. And until the next one, everybody, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone.